Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine and welcome to day 12 of 31 days of crafting in October. I said October today and not July like I did yesterday. Still got my cold, but I am feeling a lot better, and thank you to those of you who have sent me kind wishes. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. A while ago I showed on my channel this little teepee card that I made. I think I did anyway, and I think I said at the time how cute it would be to make a Christmas tree. These can be made for any occasion obviously, but I thought home decor, a Christmas tree, so we're going to make one together today. And just using stuff from my stash, I found this green card. Obviously you can use whatever card you like. I am doing matte and layers, but you don't have to. You could use pre-patterned card if you've got enough. Use whatever you have got. But I've cut already 3 squares of green card that are 4 inches square. And it really doesn't matter what size you do these, as long as you cut 3 cards the same size, 3 pieces of card the same size square. Then I'm using gold for a touch of opulence. I have a love-hate relationship with gold actually. I think I do prefer silver, but I've got a lot of this gold mirror card, so I'm using it up. And you will need 2 squares of this that are 1/8 of an inch shorter, so this is 3 7/8 of an inch. And then for my patterned paper, I'm using from the Relatively Thoughtful Reindeer Christmas this tree pattern here. This is what I've got left out of a sheet of 12 by 12. And I thought trees on a teepee card, we're making kind of like a Christmas tree, that would be quite cute. And I've cut 2 squares. We will need a little bit more, but we'll work out the measurements for that in a minute. You will need 2 squares. If this is 3 7/8, this is 3 3/4. And I'm bringing in my trimmer and scoreboard. And what you want to do, if you have one like this, I find this easier, but I'll just bring in my other scoreboard. I have drawn, using a Sharpie pen, down one of the channels a black line, so you can line up and score on the diagonal by lining up your corners. But I'm going to use this today because it gives a slightly finer score line, which is what we need. So I'm just lining up on the diagonal, and then I can see the guide wire. Let me just bring you up a little bit better in shot. Hopefully you can see that. So the guide wire on this is silver, and that is going to be my score line. And the more accurate you are, the better. Says she, probably not being very accurate. Actually, we've not got a bad score there. And you're going to do that on all 3 of your base pieces. So there are my 3 pieces scored, and while I've got the trimmer out, I'm going to cut my 2 pieces of gold, and again lining it up so that the guide wire is on the diagonal. And I'm going to just use my cutting blade this time and cut. I think we'll only need 3 triangles, but just cutting really carefully. And I will need my trimmer again. We're going to be cutting these on the diagonal, but I want to check which orientation I need my trees, so it looks as if the trees are upright on my teepee card. So we'll just move our trimmer out of the way for the moment, and we'll start to assemble our base. So what you need to do is take the 2 corners and line up the point, and although you've scored it really is a case of just taking a little bit of time with this and kind of teasing it into place, and then I can bring in my bone folder when I'm happy. I'm not very happy with this. And then just tease and fold and burnish. But if you take the time to line up that corner and lay your piece down and then gently do those corners and then the rest, you're going to get a neater score. So the last one, as best you can, be neat, and there we go. So what we want to do now is take one piece and lay it in that orientation, and then the other pieces are going to come in like so. And a little tip for knowing where to apply your glue: if you just take a pencil and make a little mark where those bits meet, you can see that this is the area you need to apply your glue. And we'll do the same with this piece. And we've got our little pencil marks there. Hope you can see. It's not easy because it's dark. And we're going to take our glue. I would use glue and not tape for this. Making sure you've got plenty at the top, and then carefully line up the point. Don't press down too hard yet. Check the alignment on the back, and then when you're happy with it, give that a little press down. And you can see our teepee shape is starting to take shape there. And we do the same with this side. And if you're selling these for craft fairs, you can store them flat so that they don't take up room. I would have a couple on display so people can see them, but have them then packaged up flat, so you could have them like that in a cello bag so people can see the decoration on them, but they're easy for you to store and don't take up a lot of room on your table. Now what we need to do now is put a couple of magnets here. You could put a Velcro dot, but I'm going to come in with my magnets if I can find them. Here they are in my little drawer. Mr. Paper&Twine very kindly gave me these. I have got some that I bought and they are completely the wrong dimension for paper crafting. They're too small and they're too thick. So I need two. Have I got two there? Yes, I've got two. These are 1/2 millimetre deep and 5 millimetres diameter. So I would, particularly if I'd got small children in the house, be covering my magnets with paper. But just in the interests of time, I'm not going to do that. But if I've got small children, I would be covering my magnets, as I say. And I'm just using a dab of acrylic glue. I'm going to leave that to just set a minute. Put my other, oh, look, see, it's jumped off. A little dab of glue on there, and then I'm going to just close that like that. But if you were using a Velcro dot, it is a little bit bulkier and doesn't give as nice finish. So I can see that that is where my second magnet needs to go. And I'm just going to give it a minute to dry. Okay, so my magnets are in place now, and actually what I've done, my spare gold triangle, when this magnet was in place, I've put this over, and then that enabled me to stick the other one and get the placement right. So we're going to just adhere the rest of our gold triangles now. As I say, if you want to cover the inside of your Teepee card or Christmas tree, because I am making this as a Christmas tree, home decor ornament, that is entirely up to you. It's not going to be seen, but if you're worried about small children or the magnets escaping, then you do you. But I haven't got any small children in the house, although we might have small children coming at Christmas if we usually have a big party on, well, not party, we usually have a big get together on Boxing Day. When my grandma was alive, as I think I've said, they lived with my parents, and my dad was the eldest of 5. And we always had a huge party on Boxing Day at our house. All of our family would come, friends, great time. I have really happy memories of Boxing Day. And we've kind of carried on that tradition a little bit at my house. So my one sister definitely always comes, but my other sister, the eldest of all the 3 of us, she quite often goes away for Christmas. She is not a fan of Christmas. And in previous years, she's spent the winter months in India. She likes to go to Goa. She's got friends out there, so she quite often is not with us for Christmas. But my other sister, the middle one of us, always comes, and her 2 children, who have both got children. And as I say, the one niece has got 4. One of my nieces has got 4. So yes, we will have a house full of children. And the other niece has got 1. Who is 5. So yeah, so we obviously couldn't get together last Christmas. And usually, you know, we've got my 3 kids, and 2 of them have got partners now, so they'll be here, all being well. And I get on very well with Harry's girlfriend's mum, and she usually comes, and Harry's girlfriend's brother comes as well. So yeah, we usually quite a house full Boxing Day, which I like. So there you can see now we've got the basis of our Teepee card, and I want to cut some gold bits to cover this little bit here. So I'm going to measure what this straight edge is here, and it is 1 3/4. So I want to cut my gold card at 1 5/8 square. And now I need 2 squares to give me 3 triangles to cover up the little bits. So I shall just do that off camera. So we just need to cut these on the diagonal again. If you find small things fiddly, you could just as easily use some long bladed scissors to cut carefully on the diagonal. But I'm going to persevere with this. Sorry, you can't see. Just lining that up, lining the corners up so that they are on the guide wire, the cutting wire. And then we've got a spare triangle for something else. You could die cut a little star out of it, or whatever you wanted to do. I'm just going to stick these onto our bits here. We need to remember that measurement, 1 5/8. Just lining that up there. So you've just got a very little thin border of the green showing. And as I say, you can do whatever colours you have got in your stash and use whatever paper you want to decorate. But I just wanted to use this tree paper. I thought it was quite good fun. Now that is a little bit big, so I am going to chop a bit off that, or try one of my other triangles. Let's just bring in my scissors. Actually, I'm just going to cut a slither off. Haven't done that very straight. Oh dearie me. Let's see what this looks like now. That's better. That's not too bad actually. So you can see how we're covering our card base. Sorry for any glare you're getting. And then this one is going to come in here. And that's about right there. Just checking it's not too big. I'm just going to cut another slither off that actually. Just carefully. Because I do want a little bit of a green border showing. Otherwise there's no point having the green card base, is there? And I haven't cut that very straight. Don't do as I do, do as I say. Oh dear. I'm just lining that up like so. And there is our little teepee base covered. Now, unless you want to cut into lots of paper, you should get away with just 2 squares of your patterned paper, but you want to check now the orientation. So I'm going to have this as my front probably, and I want my trees to look as if they're standing up as best as possible, and I think that is the best I'm going to get. Unless I have it that way. I think I quite like it that way actually. No, actually what I'm going to do, I've just looked at something. I'm going to cut this one on this diagonal here. All will become clear in a minute. So just popping this in my trimmer again, lining up my guide wire. And now I have found that this paper doesn't like being cut on the diagonal, so I'm going to just start with my scissors and see if that makes a difference. Yeah, for some reason you might be all right if you've got a guillotine blade, but there, that's better. But you can see it's kind of puckered a bit at the bottom, and for some reason I didn't cut that all the way. Just trim that down a bit. And what we're going to do is adhere this. So this is going to go on this way, like so. And I'm just going to adhere everything to my tree. And then for this panel here, we had 1 5/8. So I need to cut 2 squares of my patterned paper that are 1 1/2. So I should do that. You don't need to see me cut, and I do want to try and keep this short, and I'll come back to you. I will come back to you. So our teepee base is all covered now, and I've managed to orientate the scraps, the triangles, so that they kind of line up as as best I can without cutting into the paper. I did find that it didn't like cutting on the diagonal on my Fiskars trimmer with the guide wire, but if you've got a guillotine blade such as this one here, you can still line up on the diagonal using your cutting blade as a guide and sharp down, and you get a nice clean cut. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. Cutting big pieces on my regular rotary trimmer is fine. It's just the small pieces. It did drag and pucker a bit. So yeah. So what we need to do now is decorate our tree, and I don't want that one as the front, I don't think. I think I want this one because the trees are more kind of upright, so I think I want this face. And it's difficult to get you in shot so you can see properly. But I thought I'd stick with the paper dolls theme, and I've got the Christmas paper dolls, and I've gone through and I've chosen some that I think might be suitable. And you do get repeats of them in different sizes. So for example, I've got this chap with his skis, which make quite a nice winter scene. And you know, you could, I think I've used one already. And then you've got this chap with his skates, are they? Yeah, I think he's got his skates round his neck in differing sizes. And then I've got this one with the little children wrapped up in their winter clothing. And I've got these little tiny children. So it's a case of thinking what goes best really on here. Do I like that one? Or do I like this one? I think I quite like this one actually. I don't know. No, maybe the white's not quite right. What about this lad with his skates? He could work, I guess. Yeah, I think it's between the lad with his skates and his hat on. And you can have his feet sticking down the bottom a little bit, like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for him. So I'll pop these back in my paper doll tin. Which is down there. And I'm going to use a couple of layers of foam tape, I think. Now this is a bit wide, so I'm going to cut it in half. I want a piece about that long, but I'm going to cut it in half, and that'll give me a double layer as well. It's very sticky stuff. I think this is Sticks 2 foam tape, I'm not sure. There's my first layer down, and put this on top. And we will stick him like so, about like that, I think. There. You can't see him standing up, but there he is, little boy with his winter skates. Obviously you can decorate your trees however you see fit. Now I do want to put a little banner on the top here, sticking out like so, with a Christmas word on it. I think this is 1/2 inch. Yeah, I've got a 1/2 inch strip of my green card there. So I'm going to bring in my seasonal word clippings, and we want the white ones, these craft ones in here as well. What shall we have? Greetings, Wonderland, December, winter. Is there snow? Oh, there's snowfall. It's not going to go with what I've already got, and I'll show you in a minute. But I think I might go for Wonderland, because it kind of hints at winter, doesn't it? I'm going to stick it in the middle like so, leaving a little bit of a gap at the end there so I can stick that in, but you can still see the Wonderland like so. Going to trim a little snip off here, and I'm going to do kind of like a little fishtail banner. So I'm going to cut a little notch in the centre and then cut from the corner to the centre like so. And then just tease that out. And again, you could use whatever you wanted to do. If you didn't want to put the banner on, you could put a star at the top of your tree, or a little Christmas bauble, or a jingle bell, whatever you wanted to do really. But I'm just going to stick that like so. So we've got a little banner coming out of the top there. Now I'm going to embellish this further, and I've got some Stickles. You could use Nouveau drops, you could use enamel dots, you could use beads, you could use gems. In fact, I'm going to use a combination of gems and Stickles. So I've got a big box of gems that I've had over the years, and I'm going to use a combination of these three colours, and I'm going to put a little gem, different coloured gem, at the top of each Christmas tree. You see there's a little star shape there. So I'm going to use a combination of gems just to decorate these. You don't need to see me do that. I'm going to do that off camera. So I've popped my gems on top of each tree where there's a star. Little stars there I've not bothered doing. I'm going to lay my card out flat, or my tree out flat, and I'm going to come in with my gold Stickles, and I'm going to do some drops in the background, on the background paper. So I'm just squeezing the air out, and just a little light touch. I don't want them to necessarily be massively big, but just little ones here and there. And in the winter, when you've got maybe candlelight, these would look nice on the mantelpiece with some candles. And the candlelight will just catch the little bits of glitter. I hope you can see all right. This is a very, very old bottle of Stickles. Must be at least 5 years old, if not more. But it is still working, which is good. Just randomly doing little dots. You don't want to kind of overdo it. But I think that will do for that. And then I'm going to put some Stickles on the tree. So I don't know whether you can still get this colour. This is called Goldenrod. I'm sure there are plenty of other gold glitter things. I know Dove Crafts do stickle type things, don't they? Glitter glues. Nouveau do a glitter glue. I have got one, but I thought I'm not going to open it until I've used what I've got. Then I've got this green, which is called Firefly, which I'm going to just pop on the trees like little baubles. Let's find a full tree. Here's a full tree, so I'm going to do one on the top there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Oh, that's a big blob. Let's see if I can separate that. A cocktail stick would be useful in this kind of situation. I suppose I could just rub that out and try again, couldn't I? I am not practiced with these, as you can see. Some people are excellent with Stickles. I think it's Dawn of Shiny Silver Treasures, who is a Stickles expert. I might be wrong. Let me know if you know who it is. And actually, do you know, I don't mind that so much. We've got a bit of a splodge there, but so I've got my little pattern developing. Blob at the top. Trying to keep the pressure even when I'm squeezing so that I get even sized globules. And trying not to smudge what I've already done, of course. So I should go ahead and finish that and show you when it is finished. But you can see it's starting to take on some quite nice shine. Here's Blue. We haven't seen her for a while. And she's destroying my one of the things I made for the summer collab. Look at her. I'm keeping her in here because I've got to take her to the vets in a minute. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Look at her. Naughty girl. She's a naughty girl, isn't she? Yes, I've got to keep her in here so I know where she is because I've got to take her to the vets for her annual checkup and cat flu jab and all that kind of stuff. And she knows because the cat carrier is in the kitchen and I tried to lure her into it with some treats and she turned her nose up at the treats. So she knows something is amiss, the little minx. Anyway, here is our finished teepee. And yeah, as I say, I'm not the best at using Stickles, but when these are dry, I think they'll fade back a little bit and will be quite nice. But you use whatever you've got in your stash. And again, I'd love it if you tagged me on Instagram, Paper&Twine Crafts, 31 Days of Christmas or something like that. But tag me, Paper&Twine Crafts, and then I can see if you've had a go at this and what you've made. So I thought it would be great fun to have a whole raft of these on a mantelpiece. So I've already made 2 more, and let me see if I can get these better in shot for you. Look, I've just put my finger in that wet glue there, glitter glue. These ones I've made earlier, so they should be drier, but I'm not taking any chances. There you can see the tops of them, and they're in height order. I'll just take a little bit of video footage now for you. Actually, I'll bring you down. So here they are. This is the 4-inch base that we started with. A smaller one. I've chosen this man because he got snow on his coat, and I've put thankful, because we are thankful at Christmas, aren't we, to have our family with us if we're lucky enough, and happy because it is a time of happiness. And here is the man holding his Christmas tree. If I'd had 3 of these, I would have used these, but I'd only got 2. And they're all decorated on the back. So if you hadn't got the banner on like I have, you could have any side showing, and yeah. So I don't know if you can see these any better, but you might just like to know the dimensions I did were the big one was a 4-inch card base to start with, 3 pieces of card. The next one down is 3.5 inches, 3 pieces of green card. And the next one down is 2 3/4 inches square, 3 pieces of card, but make these to whatever size you want. And I think they'd be great for craft fairs because you can package them flat, use a whole variety of Christmas papers. I mean, I think if I was doing it for craft fairs, I wouldn't put the paper dolls on. I would just have them plain. But I think they're quite effective and quite cute. My daughter hates the paper dolls, Ella does, so I don't know where I'm going to put these, but I think they would be lovely on a shelf. Let me know what you think. Take care, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with day 13. Lucky for some. Wish me luck at the vets.